You are listening to Mark Lack, and this is Retail 101 Online. Welcome, Retail 101ers, to episode number 18. These episodes are all designed to give you some quick bursts of retail or management knowledge, and you can do it at your own pace. For our amazing regulars, a huge thank you for continuing to tune in. Your unwavering support keeps us revved up and ready to dive headfirst into the chaotic world of retail. In this episode, we explore why retailers make bad decisions and how to stop it. My name is Mark Lack, and I am the host of the Retail 101 online channel, a dedicated resource to learning about all things retail and management. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about team dynamics and how people think. I started to read the book Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel laureate in economics that explores the dual processes of human thought. Published in 2011, the book synthesizes decades of research on cognitive psychology and behavioral economics, offering deep insights into how we think, make decisions, and behave. It's divided into 5 parts, each unraveling different aspects of human cognition. Let's dive right in, shall we? If you've ever wondered why you make certain decisions, or if you often find yourself struggling with biases and mental shortcuts that lead to errors in judgment, this podcast is just for you. Daniel Kahneman's research reveals how our minds are divided into 2 systems of thinking: fast, intuitive reactions and slow, deliberate analysis. By understanding these systems and the common cognitive traps they set, you can improve your decision-making, reduce errors, and solve many of the everyday problems caused by flawed thinking. Stick around as we break down key concepts from Kahneman's work and provide practical tips to enhance your mental clarity and decision-making skills. What are the 2 systems? Kahneman introduces the central thesis of the book: the existence of 2 distinct systems in our minds that drive the way we think. System 1 operates automatically and quickly, with little or no effort and no sense of voluntary control. It's responsible for quick, intuitive, and often subconscious responses, such as detecting hostility in a voice or solving simple math problems. System 2, on the other hand, allocates attention to the effortful mental activities that demand it, such as complex computations and conscious reasoning. It involves slower, more deliberate, and analytical thought processes. Let's first look at heuristics and biases. This segment delves into the various shortcuts, heuristics, and errors, biases, that arise from the operations of System 1. Kahneman, along with his longtime collaborator Amos Tversky, identified numerous cognitive biases that affect judgment and decision-making. The key biases exposed include, firstly, anchoring, the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information encountered, the anchor, when making decisions. Secondly, availability heuristic, the propensity to estimate the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind, often influenced by recent experiences or vivid memories. Thirdly, representativeness heuristic. This is the inclination to judge probabilities based on how much one thing resembles another, often leading to neglect of relevant statistical information. And finally, optimism and overconfidence. This is the bias where people overestimate their abilities, knowledge, and chances of success, often disregarding real risks and uncertainties. Kahneman examines the dangers of overconfidence, a bias that leads individuals to place too much faith in their own intuitions and judgments. This overconfidence is partly fueled by the illusion of understanding and the retrospective distortion known as hindsight bias, where outcomes seem more predictable after they have occurred. He discusses how expert predictions in fields such as finance and politics are often no better than chance, yet experts remain highly confident in their forecasts. This is particularly important during this time period in history of what tariffs are supposed to be able to achieve. Now we move on to choices. In this section, Kahneman explores prospect theory, for which he won the Nobel Prize in 2002. Prospect theory describes how people choose between probabilistic alternatives that involve risk, where the probabilities of outcomes are known. It challenges the traditional expected utility theory by demonstrating that people value gains and losses differently, leading to inconsistent decision-making. The key concepts include, firstly, loss aversion, the tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. This means that losses have a greater emotional impact than an equivalent amount of gains. And secondly, framing effects, how different presentations of the same problem can lead to different decisions. For example, people tend to avoid risks when a positive frame is presented, but seek risks when a negative frame is presented. And finally, the fifth part of the book, the two selves. The final part of the book differentiates between the experiencing self and the remembering self. The experiencing self lives in the present and feels each moment, while the remembering self recalls and evaluates past experiences. Kahneman shows that these two selves often disagree on what makes a life enjoyable. For instance, the remembering self tends to focus on the peak moments of pleasure or pain and the ending of an experience, often neglecting the duration and intensity of the actual experience. Help is on the way. In Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman identifies several cognitive biases and pitfalls that can affect decision-making, many of which are particularly relevant to retail environments. Here are the key pitfalls to watch out for. Number 1. Overconfidence bias. People often overestimate their knowledge, abilities, or predictions, which can lead to poor decisions. In retail leaders may feel overly confident in predicting market trends, product success, or customer behavior, leading to stock mismanagement or poor product placement. Number 2, the anchoring effect. Initial information, like prices or estimates, strongly influences subsequent judgments, even if irrelevant. In retail, this could mean that pricing strategies can be skewed by the anchoring effect. Setting prices too high or too low can distort customer perceptions of value and their willingness to buy. Number 3, loss aversion. People are more motivated by avoiding losses than by acquiring equivalent gains. In retail, this could mean that managers might avoid taking necessary risks like changing the store layouts or implementing innovative marketing strategies due to a fear of potential short-term losses. Number 4, confirmation bias. This is the tendency to seek out and interpret information that confirms pre-existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. In retail, this could mean that retailers may cling to outdated practices or ideas because they focus on data that supports their viewpoint, while ignoring signs of changing customer preferences or market shifts. Number 5, the availability heuristic. People tend to judge the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind, rather than actual probability. In retail, retailers might make decisions based on recent, memorable events, like a sudden surge for demand in a product, and not on a thorough analysis of trends leading to over or understocking. Number 6, the endowment effect. People generally assign more value to things simply because they own them. In retail, this can lead retailers to overvalue their existing stock or business model and resist necessary changes, even when customer demands evolve. Number 7, the planning fallacy. This is the tendency to underestimate the time, costs, and risks of future actions and overestimate the benefits. In retail, retailers may launch new stores or products without adequate preparation, leading to delays, cost overruns, or failure to meet customer demands. Number 8, the sunk cost fallacy. This is where continuing a project or decision is based on past investments of time or money rather than the current realities. In retail, a retailer might continue selling an underperforming product or stick with a failing strategy simply because of the previous investment instead of cutting losses and adapting. Being aware of these pitfalls can help retail managers make more rational, data-driven decisions, avoiding the traps that fast, intuitive thinking can create. Some final thoughts from me. Kahneman concludes with implications for various fields, including economics, medicine, and public policy. He suggests that by understanding our cognitive biases and the dichotomy between the two systems of thinking, we can make better decisions both individually and collectively. He advocates for the design of policies and systems that take into account human cognitive limitations, promoting environments that help individuals make more rational choices. I hope this has helped somewhat in your understanding of how we, as humans, think, based on Kahneman's groundbreaking research. If you can think of anything else, then you know how to find me. Send a message on LinkedIn, X, or the retail101online.com website, and I can add some new insights to the list. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell wherever you get your podcast fix so you never miss out on the excitement of our next episode drop. Cheers to the retail revolution. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode, maybe in a couple of weeks' time. Cheers.